New York had never seen nothing like this before. They probably won't never see nothing like this again.
Those were the days, all right. We were pioneers, building our dream factory in this little corner of Harlem. We had no idea back then what it would grow to become.
Well, they like to tell people that Columbia University has been around for 250 years, and there may even be a few people who believe it. The carefully crafted facades, the indecipherable motto, the ivy on the walls. But I think the secret's been out for some time now. It was the movie producer, Big Nick Butler, who created the Columbia set back in 1941 as a backdrop for the Gary Cooper vehicle, Pride of the Yankees.
The year was 1939. An ambitious producer from Columbia Pictures named Nicholas Butler had commissioned a screenplay about Yankees baseball legend Lou Gehrig. Butler spent most of 1939 flying location scouts to New York. He gained permission to shoot in Yankee Stadium and on the city streets. Lou Gehrig had attended New York University, but the school denied Butler permission to film there. He wrote to Columbia studio head Harry Cohn about his problem.
Dear Harry, Pride of the Yankees is going to be a great film. The thing is, those morons at NYU won't let us film there. It looks like we'll have to build a set, but I guarantee it'll be worth it. It'll look like a real college on film. The only difficulty is we'll have to come up with a name for it.
Well, of course, Harry Cohn said if he was going to pay for the damn thing, then they might as well call it Cohn University. Eventually he compromised, and they named it after his studio. And Columbia University was born.
On September 30, 1940, ground was broken for the new sets. As the university backlot became more elaborate, the budget soared to over $100,000.
Well, Sam, we're going to build my football team around a new man next fall. A great halfback.
Fortunately, Pride of the Yankees was a success. Time critic James Agee heralded the film as a visual masterpiece.
Don't you see, Louis? That's why I'm cooking at Columbia. So you can go there someday and be an engineer like your Uncle Otto. Mom?
After the film had been shot, Harry Cohn had no intention of keeping the university set operating. It cost a lot of money for him. He resented the New York City property tax, and he didn't like the idea of a studio being on another coast so far out of his clutches. But it was Butler who had big plans for the set, and he tried to convince Harry.
In a telegram dated July 19, 1944, Big Nick Butler argued his case.
Harry, don't tear down the studio set. The Western film is yesterday's news. Why not the university film? The set is there. Let's use it.
The location, the craftsmanship, the attention to detail were irresistible. Dozens of productions flocked to shoot at the new Columbia University studios. As the operation grew, so did the challenges of managing it.
A tree grows in Harlem. Not one tree, but many. And not trees, but buildings. Hollywood has a new sister, and its name is Columbia University Studios. On the surface, it looks like a normal, busy college. But it takes countless hours of work by hundreds of skilled technicians to keep up the illusion. Every day, up to 5,000 extras must be processed, costumed, made up, and fed. 2,000 sequins every hour are transformed into gorgeous gowns. Hundreds of giant redwoods are cut down and shipped every week to build the sets. Who knows which one of you will be discovered and become the next Lee Remick or Doris Day?
I was one of the first players they put on contract. When I started, I was only 14, but I lied about my age, and they hired me to play a freshman. By the time I had turned 21, they had me playing a student 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Which room is Biesenthal's?
Room 107. You mean you were picked for Biesenthal's seminar?
Yeah.
The 60s and 70s were prosperous for Hollywood.
The isolation tank seemed the least risky. Listen, I'd like to go home with you tonight. Would that be all right with you?
So was it too for Columbia University Studios, also known as Harlemwood.
Well, when the Vietnam War happened, college campuses took on a whole new significance in American politics. There were marches, there were protests, there were sit-ins, there were building takeovers, there were shootings. And Columbia Studios wanted to reflect this, so they made a romantic comedy.
We called it Cupid's Campus Capers. A lot of fun, that one. Plenty of pathos. The leading man falls in love with the dean's daughter, but the dean won't let him go out with her. So this guy and his friends, they stage a big protest and they take over the science building until the dean will let him go out with her and so forth. So we're shooting this scene and in come the TV news people. Walter Cronkite, NBC, they think that a bunch of kids have taken over the building in a protest. They arrested the leading man. He didn't get out of jail till 1983. So we replaced him, we shot again. And after we screened the film, they never released it.
Each new film added to the size and complexity of the Columbia backlot. First, the Low Library, Kent Hall, Dodge Hall, Lerner Hall. The false fronts alone, if laid end to end, could circle Roosevelt Island 2.5 times.
Well, have you done any new work in your group yet?
No, not yet.
Well, in 1979, they were shooting this Michael Douglas, Jill Clayburgh film, and the director, Claudia Weil, was a stickler for detail. She reshot the campus scenes 3 times, and each time she shot it, she added more and more ivy until by the end, the place was covered with this stuff. And William J. McGill, the studio head at the time, saw it and said, hey, it looks like we're in the Ivy Leagues now. And I think on some level, he actually believed it.
Oh, I've been playing a librarian here at Columbia for almost 20 years. I was here for Husband and Wives, Woody Allen, Music of the Heart, The Mirror Has Two Faces, Barbara Streisand.
My first role was Ghostbusters 2. Right from the beginning of my career, I played a grad student. I lost a lot of weight for that role. Kind of like Bobby De Niro in Raging Bull, but in the reverse. And I'll never forget, we were up there at that Low Library set, and we're at the beginning of the scene. Sigourney Weaver's coming across the campus, and she's all freaked out because the baby carriage is possessed by an alien or something. And to make it real, I stayed up for 3 days, and I was all hopped up on caffeine and no-dos. And Sigourney comes in, and she takes me on the side, and she's like, Bruce, just act like you've been up for 3 days, hopped up on caffeine and no-dos. Wow, come on, what a professional. You know, and Sig and I, we just played off each other in that scene. Sig, you know, we're still friends.
My first role was in Ghostbusters. This is where they shot the big ghost scene at the beginning of the film. Until then, no one had ever filmed inside the library. It was just a big empty space, but now, look at it. Books as far as the eye can see. Of course, they're all just props.
The 80s and early 90s brought a new influx of more substantial productions, along with the respected directors such as Michael Apted, Spike Lee, and the great New York director, Woody Allen.
And Nietzsche with his theory of eternal recurrence. He said that the life we live, we're going to live over and over again the exact same way for eternity. Great. That means I'll have to sit through the ice capades again.
Then the bottom fell out. In the late 90s, productions began to leave New York City in waves. The reasons are many. The economy, the unions, the strength of the dollar in other countries. Runaway productions sent hundreds of movies outside of New York to other countries. And in Toronto, they began to build another university set. That was McGill University.
It had to find new sources of revenue. Following the model of its Hollywood brethren, Columbia went the tourist route. However, investment never materialized, and the plans for the roller coasters, the IMAX theater, the Jungle Safari ride, all had to be shelved. Columbia had become a museum piece. With the banks ready to foreclose, the new studio president had to think fast. He came up with a radical idea.
Well, we were sitting on all of this prime real estate. We had all these buildings that looked like libraries and gymnasiums and cafeterias and classrooms and dorms. We'd had all this free advertising for 50 years in the movies for Columbia. In fact, most people actually believed that we already were a functioning university. Why not take advantage of that?
The application process soon commenced, and by fall 1999, most of the studio sets were being used as classrooms and laboratories. Many of our new students and faculty had previously been employees at the studios.
You know, I'd been an actor most of my life, but I'd played several professors. People felt I had an affinity for running a university. I like pretending to know more than I know, which is something, you know, that is in the academic community is very, very useful.
The years of learning the details of the appearance of a university were paying off.
Why'd I choose Columbia? Man, right there is where Tobey Maguire got bitten by that spider.
For me, Marathon Man. When Dustin Hoffman was picked up by that Nazi woman in the library, I thought, hey, that could happen to me.
I think it was Al Pacino in Cruising.
Well, I didn't get in anywhere else. And then I saw that commercial.
The studio execs came to me with the idea of launching this new university. They needed something classic, yet targeted, subtle, Ivy League, nothing too cutesy. We did a lot of focus group research. The final 30-second spot was more effective than our wildest dreams.
Aristotle, Sir Isaac Newton, Dante. Do humanity's greatest thinkers give you an inferno? An inferno of a headache?
Hi, I'm Frederick Martin, president of Columbia University in New York City. Today's competitive marketplace demands top-notch training. Do you have the tools you'll need to jumpstart your career? Our rich Ivy League tradition speaks for itself, but even if you have heard of us, you still might not know just how much Columbia University has to offer. Degrees in a wide array of subjects such as Antiquities, Journalism, Yellow Journalism, Intermediate Dutch, Rubens, How to Make Them, Panhellenic Verse, The Cities of Vesuvius, Plato, Philosopher King, Pre-Columbian Medicine, Virgil, Implantology, Da Vinci, That Triple Threat, Bloodborne Pathogens, Training, Cicero, Nietzsche and Shamanism, and Psychology. Over 70% of our students find work in the liberal arts industry within 2 years of receiving their diplomas. So go ahead, pick up the phone and call us at 1-800-IVY-LEAGUE. That's 1-800-IVY-LEAG. Leave off the last UE, that's for useful education, which is what you won't get if you don't call us. We hired an advertising firm to create a history for the college. You can't just start a school in 1999. Nowadays, the school has got to be old. The question was, how old?
250 years. A good round number, respectable, easy to remember. But a university doesn't have strength unless it has a prestigious past. We made up some famous alumni. Margaret Mead, Alexander Hamilton, Lou Gehrig, Jack Kerouac. This one was great. Dwight Eisenhower as president of the university. Oh, I love that one.
And with the first graduating class, the class of 2003, Columbia completed the most remarkable transformation in movie history, from temporary movie set to venerable university. The rise, fall, and rebirth of Columbia mirrors that of the film business as a whole, like the phoenix rising from its ashes.
What, would I send my kids to Columbia? Well, sure, I have other choices, but yeah, why not? The diplomas look so real.
Happy 250 Columbia from Student Affairs.
Happy birthday, Columbia!
Happy birthday, Columbia.
Happy 250th birthday, Columbia.
Thanks for everything, and happy birthday, Columbia.
Happy birthday, Columbia, from Human Resources.
Happy 250th birthday, Columbia University.
Happy birthday, Columbia. I'm so glad to be shooting here on your 250th.
Happy birthday, Columbia, from GS.
Happy 250th birthday, Columbia.
Happy 250th birthday, my alma mater.
Happy birthday, Columbia. 250. That's a real impressive old broad.
Have a really, really good birthday. And I've actually gathered some gifts for the university, which actually can only be opened by the university itself, and that may be hard to determine.
Happy 250th. A goal I'm trying to reach myself.
Happy birthday, Columbia University. You're old. You're very old. You're distinguished, which makes you a little better, but you're old.
Happy birthday to Columbia, Freddie style. Let's see. Freddy Krueger here. Check it out, alumni. That degree don't mean
Happy birthday, Columbia, from the Leroy Neiman Center for Print Studies.
Happy birthday, Columbia University. 250 years, wow. I hope you have at least another 250 more.
Hey, happy birthday, Columbia, from Brian Dennehy, the class of 60, 65, 66, 67, I don't know. It took a while to get out of there.
Columbia University, happy anniversary, and 250 more.
250 years of kicking ass. Have a drink.
250 years. Congratulations, Columbia University.
Happy birthday, Harvard at Columbia.
Well, happy birthday, Columbia.
Happy birthday, Columbia. All right? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Columbia University, happy anniversary. Man, we've had some good times together. Remember that one night we went out and we got drunk and we woke up next to Barnard? Woo! Hamina.